This here is all about bringing healthy back and showing you how small changes can have a big impact. So today, we're showing you how to reduce your dependence on caffeine. Now, a lot of you guys out there are enjoying a cup of coffee right now as you watch this show. But if you've ever worried you are drinking too much or maybe addicted, I want you to pay attention to Tracy's story. Take a look.
I'm absolutely addicted to coffee, and I absolutely cannot function without it. Drinking coffee is a huge part of my morning routine. The first thing I do when the alarm goes off is I walk right into my kitchen and I brew some coffee. Before I go to work, I probably drink 4 cups of coffee. And then on the way to work, I take another 12 ounces with me. I am the principal of an alternative school, and in the morning at work, I probably drink 4 cups. My job is very demanding. I have to think about 25 things at once. So if I don't have my cup of coffee, I feel that I don't have the energy and the focus that I need to get through the day. After lunch, I usually brew another pot, and I drink 1 or 2 of those mugs. When I get home from school, I'm so mentally drained and exhausted. I brew another pot. As I'm drinking that coffee, I'm mopping, cleaning, doing laundry. The downside is that I feel dehydrated and I get a little jittery. But on the other hand, if I don't have enough, the front of my skull is pounding. I feel a lot of tension, all kinds of stomach issues. I know deep down that the amount of coffee that I'm drinking is not healthy. Coffee controls me, and I would like to be more in control of my life.
Tracy's joining us. I want to help you and everybody out there who's worried about caffeine addiction issues. But first, let me focus a little bit on you, because I put you in the truth tube here.
Yes.
So I had you fill out a little diary,
Yes.
which you honestly kept for us, so I can track how much caffeine you were drinking. Was it sort of a typical amount of caffeine you were having?
Yes.
It was. All right. So I added it up. The average person ought to have about 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, no more than that. That's the max. Mm-hmm. Your amount, you can look up in the truth tube here, was 1,000.
Wow.
140 milligrams. That's about 3 times the most that we ever would give you. Mm-hmm. Surprise you at all?
Yes, I'm very surprised.
You get jittery with that? What happens in your body if you try to drink a little less than 1,140 milligrams of caffeine?
I have a headache withdrawal. I have one right now.
You do?
Yes.
You smell like coffee? You still smell like coffee. When's the last time you had coffee?
20 minutes ago.
Oh, you always have to have coffee?
Yes.
My goodness. All right. Well, caffeine doesn't, I can pick on people with caffeine, but the real issue, does it help or hurt your body? Sometimes it's good for you to have a little caffeine to get going with headaches, whatever. But one of the things I worry about the most is sleep. And I know that a lot of folks who drink coffee or other caffeinated beverages will have a problem with it. So I sent you home with a sleep monitoring system. And here's some footage of what we experienced. Now, on average, 20% of the time that you're sleeping, you should be in that really deep restorative sleep where your brain is allowed to rest and completely come back with a turned on person. Your number was 9%.
9?
9% of the time that you're sleeping is when your brain is really in that deep phase. I actually called some sleep experts. They were stunned.
Wow.
That's a troublingly low number. Now, the good news is we know what it's caused from, right? The 1,100 milligrams of caffeine is causing the 9% deep sleep.
Yes.
So it's a pretty straightforward switch around. But a lot of people aren't aware that although they may be lying in bed for a long time, they're not getting the kind of quality sleep.
Yes.
So fixable, but it's an issue. But I actually want to focus on a bigger concern I have. Because a lot of folks who drink a lot of coffee have problems with reflux. Come on over here. Now, you've had reflux issues for a while, I understand. All right. So this is an endoscopy that was just done a couple days ago.
Yes.
And this is your esophagus. You won't recognize it. And I haven't shown this to you yet, but I'm going to share with you and everybody else. So as you're going through the swallowing tube towards the stomach, there's a little area right there. See the red spot right there and the little whitish plaque around it?
Yes.
Can you all see that? Right? That area right there is concerning to me. Because what's happening is the acid is coming up from the stomach into the esophagus, that tube that we're in right now, and it's burning this area. This whole area is red, and it's not supposed to be. That little white line demarcates the area between normal and abnormal. So the reason that's an issue for me is because when the doctors took a little bit of the sampling from that area, because they were worried at how red it looked, they didn't just find reflux. They actually found something that's called Barrett's esophagus.
Yes.
So what does it feel like to know you've got something that a lot of us have, a caffeine addiction? That's doing some small things, doing some bigger things, and then really doing some huge things to your body.
It feels scary.
Yeah. Now you've known about the reflux for a while.
Yes.
And why do you think you haven't been able to get your arms around this?
Well, I tried to quit, and then one time I was walking through Disney World, and I smelled a cappuccino, and I went right to it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then I would limit myself. Every Friday I would have a cup of coffee, and I wouldn't have coffee through the week. But then I slipped back in letting myself have it on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, and then it was back to the full-blown 7 days a week.
I know it's hard. If it wasn't hard, you would have stopped, and so would millions of people around America.
Yes.
But the beauty of the body is its resilience. That little area I showed you that was precancerous, it doesn't have to advance anymore. Right? A lot of folks at home have reflux. They won't even get that far if they can stop now. The sleep issue is completely treatable.
Yes.
The reality is you can change your destiny. Not just you, but everybody can, if they can just wake up to the reality of what's going on inside their bodies.
Right.
So I got one question, and only one question I wanted to ask you today.
Yes.
Are you willing to commit to make the change?
Absolutely.
You will. You do it now.
Yes.
All right. I'm proud of you.
After seeing the video,
Yeah.
I want to change.
Of course you want to change. And a lot of folks aren't even going to get this kind of detail, but I know it's happening inside of them, which is why I want this for everybody to be a real day, a moment that they can make a difference. All right. So I brought in a leading specialist in this area. He's going to join us when he comes back. He's going to help Tracy, you, and everybody else out there deal specifically with caffeine addictions. Whether it's coffee or soda or energy drinks, I've got a 28-day caffeine detox to kick them all when we come back. Caffeine is the most widely used drug in the world, but just like any drug, you can become dependent on it, like Tracy. I brought an addiction specialist, Mike Dow. He's going to break down a 28-day caffeine detox that everyone who wants to kick the caffeine habit can use. So, Dr. Mike, the first big issue comes up, and Tracy has a lot of insight into this, but how do you know if you're addicted? What does that mean?
I think so many people are addicted. So, it's so funny. The irony with coffee is you use a little bit to feel good, but then you cross that line. And when you need something to feel normal, you know you're addicted. And Tracy, I think we can agree, that's you. And then the other big sign is if you reduce it or you try to take it out of your diet, do you experience withdrawal symptoms?
Yes.
And you clearly do. So if you answer yes to those two questions, you may actually be addicted to coffee.
And why 28 days?
Well, from research, we know that it takes 28 days to form a habit in the human brain. But here's the good news. That also means that some of the things we're going to be showing you, Tracy, and anybody who's addicted to anything from diet soda, like my mom was, and when she was drinking 12 cans a day, or you with 12 cups of coffee can use, because when you replace it with healthy behaviors, healthy foods that give you actually the same feel-good hormones, you're actually going to be feeling better, and it's going to be a lot easier for you in the long run without those health risks.
Excellent.
And it's real. So come on back. We've got 3 tips we're going to share with everybody. These are 3 ideas. If you follow them through, it'll get you to this 28-day detox program that we're talking about, and then you can detach yourself from that addiction. The first is to deal with the chemical dependency. Now, your body's depending on caffeine, and the goal is to take you off it without hurting you. So you actually have to sort of detox in stages. So for example, week 1, I want you to reduce whatever amount of caffeine you're drinking by 25%. Week 2, down by 50%. Week 3, 75% down, because in week 4, guess what? You're done with the caffeine. And once you can just get off it for a while, and we know you don't have to be on it, then you're no longer chemically dependent, and we can deal with all the other issues. So Tracy, in your case, I built you your own version, your current intake of coffee, right?
Wow.
Cut it down to 9 cups in week 1, down in half by the second week, again by 3/4, and then you're off it by week 4. What would happen, Dr. Mike, if Tracy went off it cold turkey right now and went right to week 4?
Well, I think she's tried it before. I mean, Tracy, this was not the way you did it. Like so many people, they just say, oh, I'm going to go cold turkey. So if you go off cold turkey, we know that with caffeine withdrawal, you can have flu-like symptoms, nausea, headaches, fatigue. So you really don't want to do that to yourself, because you're going to set yourself up for failure. When you do it this way, when you use gradual detox, you're not going to be experiencing any of those symptoms. Maybe a little bit that first week, but you're going to be feeling a lot better.
Excellent.
Intimidating to you?
No.
Doable?
Yes.
All right. Step 2 is to deal with those feel-good hormones. You want to replace them, because you're not going to be getting them from caffeine anymore, with real versions, foods, for example. And there's all kinds of addictive chemicals that are released when you do things that feel good.
Yes.
We can get you that way without having to use those products. So, Dr. Mike.
This is amazing. I mean, you've had an omelet before, right?
Yes.
We've all had omelets before. We've all had eggs. But it's amazing when you combine some of these healthy foods, they actually work together collectively and they help your brain to produce the very same feel-good hormone and chemical that coffee does. So look at this omelet over here. We have this egg, which has an amino acid. Now, when you combine that with the iron with the spinach, the folate in the asparagus, the copper in the mushrooms, all of those things work together and bada bing, bada boom, you got the same feel-good chemical and you're not gonna be needing that coffee, which is causing some serious consequences in your life. Does that look good to you?
Very good.
We also have more on the website. So we're not just giving you this one recipe. We're giving you more on droz.com. We're gonna have 28 days of recipes that anybody can use no matter what kind of addiction you're fighting, from coffee to diet soda.
Okay.
Now, there's a part of an addiction that cigarette smokers know well. It's that ritualistic part of it.
Yes.
Right? That iconic, you put your mouth and the cigarette together and go like that, right? And it goes with a cup of coffee. So in your case, is this your mug?
Yes.
We have confiscated this. I'm gonna give it back. Yeah. But the holding of it, the the warmth of it, to bring it to your mouth. These are the rituals. It's very soothing, right? It's very mindful.
Yes.
And I actually don't want to take that away. That's very healthy for us to have those little, it's like a tea party, right? You want to be able to do that.
Yes.
But you don't have to have coffee in the cup for that to work. And if I gave you water, you wouldn't be happy with me. No. So it turns out that there are herbal coffees. They're made from things like dandelion root and hibiscus that actually are caffeine-free, much less acidic, therefore less likely to cause some of those problems you're having in your esophagus.
Wow.
And they actually can be ground up. They will taste close enough to coffee that you can actually add real milk to it. So I've made you some how judgmental you are already. You can even add a little extra milk. By the way, don't use skim milk in your coffee. You want some 2% fatter. Not only does it taste better, but it's better for you.
Thank you.
And give that a taste. And these are the kind of things that I want you to do. And go ahead and nestle with it and cuddle with it. All right.
Because you have that ritual. We saw Tracy in the morning. She has that ritual. So if you have something that you're replacing, it's a lot easier to take something away.
So Dr. Mike, how are you going to be able to help Tracy? I want people to see through your relationship what this would look like in their own lives.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm glad you like it.
Yes.
I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. So one of the things we know that works is accountability. When you do something alone, it's so hard. And here you are making this very public statement, and I'm going to be here with you for 28 days. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to be talking to you every week. You're going to be completing a journal. We're going to be tracking your progress, how much coffee, and then we're also going to be tracking how many feel-good activities, how many feel-good foods you're having, and then we're going to track your sleep quality, your energy, and by the end of 28 days, we are going to be off that coffee, and you're going to be feeling better than ever.
Excellent.
So look at this. This is the serious part. It takes a commitment, obviously. I can bring as many handsome Dr. Dows to you as I can. It still doesn't matter of you realizing that you have the power inside of you always have. When I see you again in 28 days, you're going to feel re-energized, you're going to feel alive, you're going to be amazing, and you won't be dependent on coffee.
Thank you.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. We're all behind you. We have trust in you and confidence as well. All right.
Thank you.
You go to droz.com to see Tracy's diary and track her progress. We also have the full 28-day plan Dr. Dow spoke about with those feel-good food recipes that all of you want to kick. Who want to kick any habit, frankly, will be able to benefit from. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.